let's just start clipping off like some 100s, some 200s, some 50s, and just start whacking away at this thing. And we got a really good traction that first night. So then things kind of started to roll. And then it was like, all right, well, now the bank conversations are going to get a little bit easier. Because we got real money. I talked to a few people. I quit. And then I had Matt Goodwin is like my biggest mentor in life, actually both lives, but personally and work. But he was like, Bud, I believe in you, but you never run a restaurant. You need to find a partner that has some food and beverage experience. And then I think this is really real. Right. So luckily, again, another connection at work, knew my now partner, Ben Eubanks, who had gone to the Culinary Institute and run Lehman Brothers Corporate Kitchen in New York and had run the restaurants at the Jefferson Hotel. Interesting. He had kind of left the food world and now working at a really cool company, Res, in Scott's Addition, but had a wealth of knowledge. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm going to throw you a little bit of this company. You want to come onto this thing and help me? He was like, dude, it sounds really fun. And so then I was like, all right, we got the team. And that's when, my first strategy was like, okay, I need a yes. I need a big yes. And luckily Matt was the yes. Yeah. And was like, I believe in you, Bud. And, I'm going to come in at this. It's like, okay, well, now we're off to the races a little bit. And then I was like, okay, let's just put a bunch of dudes and ladies in a room and give them some beers and get everybody kind of excited about this because we know we have one yes plug and just kind of see like what momentum can do. I think momentum is the most powerful force on earth, it's not close. And we had a little bit of momentum going. So it was like we got that back room at Ardent and got a bunch of beers and brought everyone in, had like a 10-slide presentation.
It was like friends, family, or professional relationships?
Yeah, like all like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was pretty much a friends and family race. Yeah. And we knew we had a slug coming in at, terms that were kind of set. So then it was like, let's just start clipping off like some 100s, some 200s, some 50s, and just start whacking away at this thing. And we got a really good traction that first night. So then things kind of started to roll. And then it was like, all right, well, now the bank conversations are going to get a little bit easier. Because we got real money. Because at that time, I had spent every penny I had on some of these drawings. And my assets, if I go back and look at that personal financial statement from when I'm the only personal guarantor on that note, which is nuts. It would never happen today. And I can get into that because it didn't happen at Cocodrillo. I had a Jeep that was paid off but worth $1,800. I had a flat screen TV. It was probably my next most valuable thing besides like my bed and stuff from like that my parents had given me, like my grandparents' furniture.
Do you still have student loans?
No, I was lucky enough. My parents got me through college. I didn't have any debt, which was nice. Good. So my balance sheet was clean. It just wasn't very deep. It was essentially nothing. And it was funny. The BB&T regional president back then was like, when they all knew I was leaving, we're like, hey, let's talk about equipment financing and your loan and all this stuff. And I was like, let's all be real here. I just went through your banking school. You are not touching this credit. And if you do, it's going to be horrible terms for me. So sorry, no, we're going with a local bank. Like we're going with a small bank, community bank. BB&T got too big by then. And, I'm trying to think back of how I got to Essex. It's funny. I played golf yesterday in the Richmond Biz Sense event with our banker, Greg Tripp from Essex Now United. Incredible dude. He saw the vision. And it's also a lot easier to borrow money when you have investors like we were able to cobble together that made it really real. Because it was like, hey, look, we're looking for 50-50 here. This isn't crazy leverage. This is like, and here's all the local players that have invested that that helped us a lot.
But what's the collateral? Like building equipment?
It was Rob's personal guarantee. We don't want Rob to quit and throw us the keys, right? We want to hold his feet to the fire. And then the building. So, that structure, like the land lease building structure in Richmond is not as prevalent as other cities, but that is a structure that happens all over the place.